which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please call the roll.
Councilmember Erby?
Here.
Second district seat is vacant. Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember O'Meara?
Here.
Councilmember Dolan?
Here.
Councilmember Stanger?
Here.
Councilmember Quinn.
Here.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Approval of the journal.
I move for approval of the journal of the meeting of June 3rd, 2014.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The journal is approved. We have no bid openings this evening, so we'll move to communications.
Madam Chair, there are no tax compromises or zoning matters this evening. We'll move to road and bridge matters. Under road and bridge matters, item number 1, second district.
Receive, file contract in an amount not to exceed $667.20 be awarded to Gershenson Construction, Inc., the lowest responsive bidder as recommended, and a copy of this report be sent to the interested parties.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries.
Item number 2, fourth district.
See file plan specification, detail estimate of cost be approved, and the director of procurement be authorized to advertise for bids as requested.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 3, fifth district.
See file contract in an amount not to exceed $1,088,413.93. Be awarded to L. Croup Construction Incorporated, the lowest responsive bidder, as recommended pending federal concurrence, and a copy of this report be sent to the interested party.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed?
No.
Motion carries.
Moving on to other communications, item number 1, all districts.
Receive and file, and that will be the order.
Item number 2, first district.
Receive, file, and the county council will be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Item number 3, fifth district.
Receive, file, and the county council be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 4.
Same motion through item number 7, and that will be the order.
Item number 8, third, 6th, and 7th districts.
Move to receive, file, county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered.
Item number 9.
Receive, file, and the county council will be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and that will be the order.
Item number 10, first district.
Receive, file, and the county council will be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and a copy of this report be sent to the city of Glen Echo Park, and that will be the order.
Item number 11, second district.
Receive, file, and the county council will be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation, and a copy of this report be sent to the city of Overland, and that will be the order.
Item number 12, seventh district.
Receive, file, and county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation. Make that same motion for item number 13.
So ordered.
Item number 14, fourth district.
Receive file.
So ordered.
Item number 15, fourth district.
Receive file, and the county councilor be directed to prepare the appropriate legislation.
So ordered. Please read the add-ons.
Item number 1, first district.
Receive and file, same motion through item number 3, and that will be the order. County Executive Dooley, do you have any reports?
Madam Chair, I have a couple of items on the $10 million bond, special obligation bond. I would hope that the county would think favorably on this as we move forward, as we've done this on many other occasions throughout the last several years. That is, it's good policy, it's good business, and it's the right thing to do to leverage our good financial status. So I think that the $10 million special obligation bond would be a good thing to do. Secondly, I would hope that the council would hope that it was passed on the $95,000 for the Reuben Brown fraud risk assessment, that this council indicated they wanted something to be taking place to review our processes. This is not an audit. It is a fraud assessment. It is different than an audit. It needs to be a certified person to take care of this business for us. And we believe we got the right person to do it, Reuben Brown. Through 16 responses, they indicated that this was the best, lowest bid for the best possible price, that we can get the best possible outcome. So I would hope that the council will look favorable on these two requests. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. There are no reports of special committees this evening, so we'll move to the public forum. We have 13
Yes,
speakers. We'd like to ask that you keep your comments to 3 minutes. Jen will let you know when your time is up, and then we ask you to wrap up your comments.
Our first speaker tonight is Shante Young, and she will be followed by Corinne McAfee.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am here, my name is Shante Young, I'm President of the Board of Aldermen for the wonderful city of Moline Acres. We are having our council meeting at this very moment, so they have sent me here to speak a few words on behalf of Councilwoman Irby's bills number 110 and 111. As I pondered what to say, my mind kept saying, this is a shame. It's a shame because we are 94 years from the 19th Amendment, which allows women to vote. We are 60 years from the Brown v. Board of Education allowing integrated schools. It's a shame that we are 146 years from the 14th Amendment, giving African Americans the right to vote, yet only 49 years from actually being able to vote without loopholes or hurdles. So it is a crying shame that in 2014, we still have to even ponder legislation that will give minorities and women the same opportunities afforded to white males. Councilwoman Irby's legislation gives minorities and women the opportunity to feed their families without extra hurdles to jump through. And I'm especially happy about giving county residents a percentage that will guarantee that dollars will be recycled within the boundaries of St. Louis County. I ask the council to please pass Councilwoman Irby's version of 110 and 111 without caveats and without the inclusion of hurdles. I liken those added amendments that are being inserted into this legislation to a poll tax or a literacy test when African Americans tried to vote 50 years ago. If you truly believe in inclusion, rather than it being a campaign rhetoric or the politically correct thing to say, I ask that you do the right thing. The Post-Dispatch recently published the following tagline: in what has become a pre-election standard for St. Louis County governance, a county council policy discussion Tuesday again devolved into bitter and often highly personal invective. We have devolved. That is profound to me, and I'm sure the other citizens of St. Louis County. Now is the time for everyone to evolve back to the county council that respected one another and worked together for the greater good of the whole. Some of the articles have become embarrassing to read, and the level of disrespect that has been displayed is beyond comprehension. Minorities and women are not tools for an election. We are people. If you continue to create barriers for minorities and women to be able to do business with St. Louis County so they can have the same opportunity to feed their families, then you may be part of the reason we are still having this same type of shameful discussion 50 years later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Corinne McAfee, followed by Barb Ruder. Ma'am, you can bring those to me.
Hello, and thank you for the chance to speak here tonight. My name is Karen McAfee. I'm from Clayton, and I'm a mom and a grandma. Because of my grandkids, I'm also part of Missouri Climate Advocates, and I'm here tonight to call on the council to lead in helping protect the future of our community. Last month, the National Climate Assessment found that the Midwest and Missouri is at great risk from the continued disruption of our climate by unchecked greenhouse gas pollution. The single largest source of that pollution is carbon emissions from coal-fired power plants. The assessment states that increased flooding, extreme weather events, heat waves, loss of our forest, and severe agricultural impacts are already here and will continue, creating a crisis that will have huge public health, social and economic costs to our region and to all of us if we fail to act. Shortly after the National Climate Assessment was released, we awoke to the news that the Antarctic ice sheet is melting at such a rate that we've reached a tipping point and sea level rise is now inevitable. I don't want to have to explain to my grandchildren why I stood by and watched as more tipping points were reached. We need to curb our burning of the fossil fuels that fuel climate change now. Last week, the EPA and the White House took the first crucial steps to curb the worst impacts of climate change. We must support the limiting of carbon emissions from coal-fired power plants. Right here in St. Louis County, 95% of all fixed carbon emissions come from Ameren's Merrimack Power Plant. The emissions from this power plant also play a huge role in asthma rates in St. Louis. For St. Louis County to get serious about reducing carbon emissions, we have to begin the transition to cleaner energy, starting right here in our own backyard. I call on the St. Louis County Council to be leaders on climate, leaders in protecting public health, leaders in advancing clean energy. Stand with us and pass a resolution calling on Ameren to make the transition to cleaner energy. Together, we can create a livable future for all of our children and grandchildren. They deserve leaders with the courage to stand up for what is right and the courage to call on our corporations and power companies to stand with us to create a livable future. On behalf of all of our children and grandchildren, I ask you to consider this resolution before you tonight and pass it as swiftly as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Barb Reuter, will be followed by Joe Adams.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. My name is Barb Reeder, and I'm here to talk about air quality and asthma. A professor at Washington University said, hey, we're a city with a lot of industrial pollution. We're an old industrial city. We're a river city. We're a city with big traffic problems. All these things go together to make a pretty nasty mess air-wise. But the problem is we also produce our energy from coal-powered plants, which cause pollution, which make asthma happen. My grandson Noah has asthma. This is Noah. Noah will be 4 very soon. He often has to go to the emergency room at Children's Hospital because of asthma. There they have told us that asthma causes are the highest frequency of admissions to St. Louis Children's Hospital emergency. I feel for him. Because of that, and because I'm a member of the Sierra Club, I support the resolution from transition to coal and clean energy, because we produce most of our energy from coal, which causes this nasty pollution, which makes asthma happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Joe Adams, followed by Michael Maynor.
Good evening. My name is Joe Adams. Some of you know me. Others don't. That's okay. I'm saddened that the St. Louis County Council did not approve Bill number 109. I believe and hope that somebody would move to reconsider said bill to protect minority rights, women's rights. I would also hope that the county council would approve Bill 110 and 111 tonight to move and codify that position to protect the rights of individuals. We see them being eroded all the time. We see the United States Supreme Court chipping away at rights and keep saying, well, it's already settled. You don't have to do that anymore. No, it's not already settled. There's always somebody out there trying to find some little loophole, some little chink in the armor to destroy and to hurt people who are striving to make it to that middle class, to become productive members of the society. And so if you can pass simple legislation to help that happen, it would be a great benefit to all of us. Thank you very much. I hope to see you all out there, and be kind to someone. You'll fake them out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next speaker is Michael Maynor, will be followed by Nova Felton.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Maynor. I am a school teacher at Hazelwood School District, teach social studies, teach social justice. Also, I am a owner of a small subcontractor demolition firm. I'm here for the support of Bills 110 and 111. I am very encouraged for the inclusion for the 20% MBE and the 5% WBE bills. Although I would ask you to add the apprenticeship program. The reason why I opened up my construction company was to help the kids that were in high school, that could not go to college or didn't want to go to college, have jobs and make a decent wage without having to, as we know, what our young people are hit with, rob, stealing, and killing. The thing I would like to see with the apprenticeship program is not to be taken out the bill, because it also creates careers and not just jobs for these young people, and also it helps I would say our society, our county, our city with implementing discipline and also pride into these individuals. So I'm with Bills 110 and 111, and I really appreciate the inclusion, but could you please add the apprenticeship programs? Thank you.
Madam Chair, Madam Chair, can I make a quick comment?
Yes.
I have two supporting bills, which are identical to what you're asking for.
Yes, sir.
It's the same minority language that Hazel has presented, but it's kept the apprentice part of it, federally approved apprentice program.
Okay.
In case in point, last week we had a demolition contractor shut down in Lee May for improperly disposing of asbestos throughout the neighborhood. Put down the wrong tracks on the equipment, tore up the county street, and they shut them down because of no proper training. And so mine has all the language that you need in it, and it also has the federally approved apprentice program included into it.
Well, I just want to let you know that I'm not here for Hazelwood School District. I'm here for my own company, which is called Moment Construction.
Yes.
But what bills are that?
These will be introduced tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Next speaker is Nova Felton, followed by, I'm not sure if it's Mr. or Ms. Elmaine.
My name is Nova Felton, and I'm a longtime resident, voter, and taxpayer in St. Louis County. I live in University City. I am requesting that you vote in support of the passage of Councilwoman Hazel Irby's legislation to create a diversity program in St. Louis County. This legislation will seek to assure fair and balanced opportunities to minority and women-owned businesses through the St. Louis County Procurement Program. Your vote will demonstrate your commitment to the entire residents and business owners of St. Louis County. Based on the 2012 United States Census, the total population of St. Louis County is made up of 32% minorities, with 24% of the total population constituting African Americans. Minorities make up 16%, and women 27% of the county business owners in St. Louis County. St. Louis County overall unemployment rate is 7%, while unfortunately, the overall rate, and sadly, the rate for African Americans in some communities is well over 20%, more than triple the county's overall rate, and sadly, nearly every major economic indicator for these communities portray an image of despair. Yet, the facts show that St. Louis County has no meaningful utilization of minority and women-owned businesses. Historically, small businesses, of which most minority and women-owned businesses are a part, have a history of employing people in the communities where they're located. The board bills will go a long way toward addressing these disparities by creating jobs and economic opportunities which will help address many systemic issues. Also, the contract amount should be more than $25,000. That will hardly cover the bookkeeper's salary. The contract should be more than $1 million, so that these contractors can train and employ the best. In addition, there needs to be an oversight requirement in any bill. As a retired IRS examiner, I know and understand the necessity for oversight. You must follow the money. In addition, you need to establish an Office of Diversity to provide oversight to the minority participation requirements. As a matter of reference, the City of St. Louis, our regional partner, diversity program has been in existence since 1988. The state of Missouri, as does both Jackson County and Kansas City, also have significant diversity programs. However, the largest county in Missouri, St. Louis County, with the largest population of African American residents in the state, has yet to recognize the value of inclusion.
That's 3 minutes.
This is unfair and defies logic. These bills are an attempt to correct these sad facts and addressing these disparities. Thank you in advance for supporting fairness.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Mr. or Ms. Elmaine, followed by Kevin Buchek. Madam Chair, could we ask the speaker to state her full name? I'm not sure it's right on the speaker's card.
Which one? This one?
Ms. Elmaine?
Elamine.
No. I'm not sure. Someone fill out a card that says Mocan Elmaine. I don't know who that is.
I'm Yafet Elamine,
Okay.
and I am the Executive Director of MoCan Construction and Contractors Assistance Center.
Okay, I have a card for you.
On behalf of MoCan Construction and Contractors Assistance Center, we would like to go on record in support of Board Bill 110 and Board Bill 111. We also are in support of Board Bill 109 that unfortunately was voted down last week, which would establish an Office of Diversity in St. Louis County. MoCan is a non-for-profit organization that has represented contractors for more than 39 years. We are the longest-standing and only minority contracting construction organization consistently representing minority contractors in the St. Louis metropolitan area. We are asking today, again, for the St. Louis County Council to vote in support of inclusion of minority businesses. We have several minority contractors that are present in the room this evening. 2 of them came at 6:00 p.m., and unfortunately, the list for them to testify was already taken up front. They are also residents of St. Louis counties and taxpayers of St. Louis County. We believe that these 2 pieces of legislation are far overdue. The City of St. Louis Executive Order 28 was established in 1989. 1989, the city has carried the torch and the flag for inclusion since 1989. It is far time for St. Louis County to stand up and represent its 24% of its African American constituents, as well as its Hispanics, its Native Americans, its Asian and Pacific Islander representatives as well. We believe that Councilwoman Irby's legislation is a step in the right direction. We believe that it is a step in the right direction as it is presented, and it needs no other perfection. It was presented in a perfect state that will allow for us to achieve our fair share of inclusion. There was a young gentleman that testified earlier about apprenticeship programs. We are in support of training. Unfortunately, the overwhelming number of apprenticeship programs are ran by the building and construction trades, and throughout the years have been historically discriminatory against minorities and females. So we believe in order to ensure that the playing field is level, Most minority contractors are not union contractors. This will enable those contractors to get a fair share of receiving opportunities to bid on work and do work in St. Louis County. We can no longer stand for taxation without representation. It's time today to ensure that people who pay taxes in St. Louis County get an opportunity to participate on the projects that their dollars fund. We do understand, again, that the majority of non-minority workers are taking those dollars when they do not live in St. Louis County back to where they live. It makes economic sense for St. Louis County. People are going to spend their dollars where they lay their heads. They live here, they work here, they spend money here. We've seen too many of our buildings and our businesses go out of business for lack of opportunity. So today, we are asking for the support and not to allow for this bill to be played like a political football. We ask for it to be supported and voted up as it stands, as presented by Councilwoman Hazel Irby for 110 and 111. And we're asking for you all to reconsider the Diversity Office 109 and ensure that the compliance is there and the staff is there to make sure that the participation is real. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Kevin Buchek, followed by Monica Huddleston.
Racism is alive and well in St. Louis. We've got segregated schools, segregated neighborhoods, and segregated businesses. Even our largest local grocery chain has black stores and white stores. We can do better. We must do better. We need leaders with courage now more than ever. We need leaders without fear willing to stand up for change. I am Kevin Buchek, the mayor of Belnor in St. Louis County, one of the 24-1 municipalities, and I am the owner of Roanoke Construction Company. Today, I stand before you not only to represent my constituents and my community, but also to speak out for my fellow contractors. My community, which is predominantly African American, has an unemployment rate that is more than triple the state and national averages. Likewise, my industry still has an unemployment rate more than 3 times the state and national averages. That is not a coincidence. My company is not a minority-owned firm. We are not a woman-owned business, but I stand behind these organizations in support of these measures. We lack capacity for MBE and WBE contractors in the St. Louis region because opportunities have not been afforded to them. It is time to reverse the trend. At Roanoke Construction, we have our own quotas for participation because it is the right thing to do. We employ minority and women-owned businesses on all of our jobs. We promote diversity and inclusion because it is good for business and it's good for our community. Unfortunately, most of my competitors don't share my conviction. We live in a world where diversity only happens when it's mandated. The city of St. Louis issued the mayor's executive order, as you just heard, in the 80s, requiring 25% MBE and 5% WBE participation on all city-funded projects. It's time for the county to step up as well. Mayor Slay then reaffirmed that order 2 years ago and added a provision for 20% inclusion of city residents on all city-funded projects. It's time for St. Louis County to join that trend as well. Today, you have an opportunity to lead the wave of change. I implore this council to approve a new standard for inclusion in St. Louis County. Please vote today to affirm Hazel Irby's bills 110 and 111. Although these amendments aren't perfect, they can demonstrate that St. Louis County is committed to all of its residents. Please demonstrate that you are committed to diversity and committed to all residents in St. Louis County by voting yes today on Hazel Irby's bills 110 and 111. I realize we're in an election year and politics are stronger than ever, but it's time to get our neighbors back to work. While you may not all agree on anything this year, you can certainly agree that the county wins when county residents get jobs and county dollars remain in St. Louis County. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And Councilman O'Meara, I haven't seen your bill yet, otherwise I may have supported that one.
And just, 2007, county executive had an executive order regarding minority participation that's been sitting for 7 years with no enforcement. I don't know if anybody's aware of that, but I've got the copy of it. I can I can hand to you, but it's been sitting there for 7 years with how it goes through procurement, how it's gonna be enforced, and it's been sitting there in his desk for 7 years and never been enforced, and now we're bringing it up. And all I'm doing is adding and strengthening a bill that adds even more minority participation to the construction industry. But we've had something in place since 2007 that's never been enforced.
I'm asking you to get something done today.
Madam Chair, let me say a couple of things, because Councilman O'Mara, as usual, he got his facts all wrong. Quite frankly, we have enforced a lot of things that we have done. The Page Olive extension, for example, it's been done. We do it every chance we get. We do it by project by project. But let me be clear about this. In 1989, how many African Americans was on the county council? Not one. Not one. We didn't get a person on the county council until 1995. That was me. If we had the opportunity to do the things that we need to do in the early years, we wouldn't be here right now. We're getting pushed back right now. Mr. O'Mara indicated that his proposal is the same as Hazel's, Councilman Hazel. No, it is not. It is not. If you're over $25,000, you're required to have a training apprenticeship program. That's not going to happen with over $25,000. That's not going to happen. There is no training over the $2 million. The $2 million that we had in originally, it is not there. It is taken out. So therefore, you cannot build capacity in the workforce. It is not there. And then thirdly, they got $100,000 to come before the council, any construction whatsoever, for them to vote on before you even go out for a proposal. Where that came from, I have no idea. So when he says that his proposal is the same, it is not the truth. It is different. If it was the same, he wouldn't need to provide additional ordinance.
No, what I said, County Executive, what I said is the minority participation is the same. Mine has inclusion of apprentice program. In the bill that I've added language to, you signed the ordinance for it. You had me come up with some language, some construction language. It took me about 2 years to put it together, and we came into agreement, and you signed this ordinance into play. And now we're doing with the ordinance that you signed into effect is adding the strengthening of the minority participation.
Madam Chair, but if I may, I just want to say again, I want to reiterate, if it was the same, it's no different, then why don't you vote for Councilman Irby's two bills, 110 and 111. Also, the 109 was the bill that I introduced to Councilman Irby, the ask her to establish an office of the diversity manager. Institutionalize it, not just an executive order, it should be a part of our value system in St. Louis County. That's what the proposal was for. In the 21st century, all of our citizens should have access to the resources for public works projects in St. Louis County. That's all we're saying. Level the playing field, and let's be fair about it as we move forward. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Can I just say one more thing? I was going to make the same suggestion. Perhaps you could pass Hazel Irby's bills tonight and then give us a chance out here to see what's included in your bills and then add that as an amendment later.
It takes out the training part of it.
Anyway, perhaps you could put that in after others have had a chance to review that. We haven't seen it out here. I'm not sure about
It's just being introduced, it's not gonna be voted on.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. All right, thank you very much for your time.
It was only shown to the NAACP St. Louis County. That's the only people they showed it to.
Can I ask you, Mayor, in your professional business, do you do work for St. Louis County, or?
I do.
You do?
And we use minority participation on those projects, even though it's not a requirement.
Okay.
It's good.
I just
Thank
want to be clear, because I've heard people have comments, not yourself, but this work is on county projects, not individual projects or private
Right.
projects.
No, I understand.
Well, there's a misunderstanding around a little bit.
Right, it's
that
not
I've
everything that's
heard.
in St. Louis County, it's those projects
Some
that
of
are
the
put out to
comments
bid by St. Louis County.
My office has
Correct.
received comments in regard to that, just so people are clear, it's strictly on St. Louis County projects. We're not telling people what to do in their own business. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Next speaker is Monica Huddleston, followed by John Kissel.
Thank you. Good evening to everyone. I am here as Monica Huddleston, Mayor of the City of Greendale, which is in the greater Normandy area, where we have 24 municipalities in a collaborative called 24:1, 24 municipalities with one vision. There are several mayors from those municipalities who are with me this evening. I would like for them to stand so that you know who they are and that they are here also. We are all here in support of 110 and 111. We are collectively disappointed in the tenor and the tone that happened last week regarding 109. Having a position is one thing. That can be changed by any subsequent county executive, perhaps, whereas an establishment of the office would have been by law in place and could have enforced what's there. And we wish that you would have done that, and we hope you will reconsider doing that, because that does give some permanence to it. 110 and 111 do at least set goals for minority and women inclusion on county projects, which is important. Our county is wonderfully diverse, and I say that sincerely. Our county looks like all of you, it looks like all of us, and we should all be comers to the table if that's what we choose to want to do, to bid on county projects. It's a real strength of our county. It holds promise and hope for our economic future. And ensuring that goals are in place and that they are monitored and that they are enforced is important. And it's important that these two bills be passed without an apprenticeship requirement, because apprenticeship requirements typically have been limiting and limited, which is not good for people who look like me, women and minority businesses. And I think you all know that. You can tell from your own numbers what those things are, and when you do your disparity study, you will see that. It might even be that the 20% and 5% is not even representative, may not even be enough for all we know, but it's a step in the right direction. So we favor both of those bills, and we hope that you will vote in favor of those bills for the right reasons.
Thank you.
Next speaker is John Kissel, followed by Robert Jones.
Madam Chairperson, members of the council, I appreciate your giving me this opportunity to speak. My name is John Kissel. I'm a retired physician, practiced medicine in the St. Louis area for almost 40 years. And I have children and grandchildren that live in St. Louis County. I'm one of quite a few county residents who have a great concern about coal-fired power plant pollution in the St. Louis region. I first became interested in this topic when I read that the Union of Concerned Scientists, which is a Nobel Prize-winning organization that includes some of the most distinguished physicians in the country, declared that pollution from coal-fired power plants is one of the major public health concerns in the United States in general. And of course, here in the St. Louis region, we burn twice as much coal to produce electricity as the nation on average. So it's obviously a major problem here. There, as you've heard in previous meetings and tonight, there are quite a few St. Louis County residents, you can see some of them in their colorful shirts, who are concerned about this issue. One of the previous speakers talked about asthma attacks. Now, asthma attacks are primarily precipitated by sulfur dioxide. The major source, almost the only source of sulfur dioxide now in St. Louis County, is the Merrimack Power Plant and other coal-burning power plants. You might be surprised to learn, as we were, that there is not a sulfur dioxide air monitoring site in St. Louis County. The nearest one is in Jefferson County, 10 miles away. And recently, the Missouri Department of Natural Resources did a modeling study, which confirmed a study done by the Sierra Club that showed that probably a lot of the sulfur dioxide that contributes to that monitoring in Jefferson County being out of compliance is actually coming from the Merrimack plant. So you can imagine what the monitor would show if we had one anywhere near the Merrimack plant. Sulfur dioxide is an important issue, but you have to understand that there are 67 different pollutants produced by coal-fired power plants. And some of them are amenable to very expensive solutions to clean them up, and others, like carbon dioxide, are not. So eventually, these coal-fired power plants are going to be eliminated. And the federal government has taken some steps to do that with the carbon rules that were put out for public comment last week. But by 2030, there will have been hundreds more deaths, premature deaths in the St. Louis area due to the emissions of the Merrimack Power Plant. And we need leadership to support a resolution that we'd like you to pass that says that we encourage Ameren to phase out of coal-powered power plants and phase in clean renewable energy sources much more rapidly than would be required by the carbon rule by the EPA. We need some leadership. You know, the air we breathe and the water we drink is not Democrat or Republican. It's not black or white. It's not conservative or liberal. It affects all of us, and it especially affects our children. And as I get older, I want you to know it also affects the elderly as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Robert Jones, followed by Jeff White.
Good evening. I'd just like to ask for you all to listen to me with an open ear. I live in St. Louis County, been a resident in St. Louis County for 30 years. And it's hard for me to come out of my driveway and see all the work that's going on in St. Louis County, and I never see any minority trucking companies. At this time, I am the largest minority dump truck company in the state of Missouri, and I can't get any work, but I pay a large sum of taxes. And if you look, my taxes is paid up to date. But I can't make my money where I live. I have to go outside this area in order to work. And then when you start talking about diversity, you're talking about boots on the ground. If you hire a minority company, you don't have to look for boots on the ground. I bring them with me. But I'm just asking for you all to think about this bill. This bill really needs to be passed. And then I heard you say that it's already in place. Never heard of it. Been out here before, wanted to know why I couldn't get any work in St. Louis County. I have the trucks. I don't have trucks that break down. Why? I'm in the union. I'm in 682. Been in Teamster for almost 30 years. But I have a problem with that as well when you start talking about other minority companies. It's hard to stay in the union when you only have 1 or 2 trucks and you're relying on one job. And the jobs that we get don't last long. Well, then you say, well, how can you do it? Very easily. I've been around for 30 years, so I done built up capital. But it's going down fast because I'm sturdy giving it to St. Louis County and I'm not able to work. And if you check the records, you'll see what I spend a year here. So I'm just asking for you all to think about that bill 110 and 111. It's something, we're not asking for all the work. We're just asking for a piece of the work. But when it comes time to pay taxes, I don't pay a piece of taxes. I pay all of my taxes. And it's true. And then it really offends me to know that all our money don't stay in St. Louis County. And if you guys ever would leave your offices and ride around, you see these guys come from way in the country, 100 miles away. That's where their money is spent. They don't even stop at the stores. They bring their lunch boxes with them. So they're not spending no money. And all that needs to be taken into consideration. And if my door's closed because I can't get no work, then my real estate tax are gone, as well as my personal property tax. And you guys know if you own 30 trucks, your personal property tax is pretty high. And thank you, and I really hope that you take that into consideration.
Thank you.
This evening is Jeff White.
Good evening. My name is Jeff White. I'm the owner of Town and Country Masonry. I'm a brick contractor, 3rd generation. My family works for the business. I have also worked for Page Dale. I've worked for Belnor, so they do walk the walk. I ask you also to support 110 and 111. We do a tremendous amount of work in the city, and also we do a tremendous amount of work in Hazelwood. Because of Hazelwood School District, they have a very aggressive diversity program, and it has helped build the capacity of the company. and the city, because because those two entities, and I've been in business now 9 years and been in the union with the business 9 years, it has helped the company immensely. Whether it was an apprentice program, I guarantee you that the bricklayers local #1 called the apprentice program Jeff White Apprentice, because I hired the most apprentices. Because the simple reason is I know if I feed them how to fish, I fed them for a lifetime. I stay in St. Louis County also. I stay in the unincorporated Normandy School District. And I'll say this, when you have people work, you won't have the problems you have in Normandy School District. And it's sad, and I'll end with this, it's sad that here we are, 2014, and we're debating about 20% of 100. I mean, all we're saying is 20% is not gonna bust the budget. And if you really wanna know that, I'm gonna tell you, I have to be it, but they're negotiating.
Thank you. That will conclude the public forum. We'll move to introduction of bills.
Bill number 124, introduced by Councilmember Erby, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept a grant of up to $83,207 from the Missouri Department of Public Safety, appropriating the same for support of a forensic scientist and crime laboratory equipment for the police department, authorizing the county executive to execute necessary documents. Bill number 125, introduced by Councilmember Stanger, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to accept a grant of up to $13,852.55 from the Missouri Department of Public Safety, appropriating the same for support of the 2014 Enforcing Underage Drinking Laws Grant Program, and authorizing the county executive to execute necessary documents. Bill number 126, introduced by Councilmember Quinn, an ordinance authorizing the county executive to execute a deed for a drainage easement to BGR 18336 LLC on, over, and under property at the Spirit of St. Louis Airport. Bill number 127, introduced by Councilmember Wassinger, an ordinance, Councilmember Quinn for Councilmember Wassinger. An ordinance amending ordinance number 17,836 by repealing and reenacting Section 3 pertaining to PC 98-95, Professor Bayer Learning Center. Bill number 128, introduced by Councilmember Erby, an ordinance authorizing St. Louis County, Missouri to issue its taxable industrial revenue bonds, Watlow Electric Manufacturing Company Project, Series 2014, in a principal amount not to exceed $30 million for the purpose of providing funds to pay the cost of an industrial development project in the county, approving a plan for the project, and authorizing the county executive to enter into certain agreements and take certain other actions in connection with the issuance of the bonds. Bill number 129, introduced by Councilmember Quinn, an ordinance appropriating and setting apart the sum of $4,380,800 from the unappropriated balance of the Spirit Airport Enterprise Fund for purchase of approximately 140.1 acres of property located at Spirit of St. Louis Airport. Bill number 130, introduced by Councilmember O'Meara, an ordinance amending Chapter 107, Title I, St. Louis County Revised Ordinances 1974 as amended, purchasing, by enacting and adding thereto one new section pertaining to construction contracts. Bill number 131, introduced by Councilmember O'Meara, an ordinance amending Chapter 107, Title I, St. Louis County Revised Ordinances 1974 as amended, purchasing, by repealing and reenacting Section 107.130, and by enacting and adding thereto one new section pertaining to workforce composition. Madam Chair, that is all the bills.
Thank you. Perfection of bills.
Bill number 8, introduced by Councilmember O'Meara.
Bill number 8.
Bill number 8.
Hold, please.
So ordered.
Bill number 69, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
Hold, and that will be the order.
Bill number 110, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
Bill number,
Yeah.
okay. We have agreed, I thank you all for coming, it has made a difference. We have agreed to talk about this. I'm gonna put the bills on hold, and hopefully we will come to some kind of an agreement, and we will, yeah. And, okay. I will put them on hold. I'm reluctant, and I'll be honest about it, because I've asked for input before and I didn't get it. But I will go ahead and hold them. I appreciate you being here tonight. This has got to be done. It's a necessity. You're only asking for 25%, not, do the math. So, we will put them on hold. 110 and 111 will be on hold, and that will be the order.
Bill number 117, introduced by Councilmember Quinn.
I'd like to take it up. I move perfection of bill number 117.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 117 is perfected.
Bill number 118, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
I move for perfection of bill number 118. I'm gonna hold it.
Okay, hold it.
I move to hold bill 118, and that will be the order.
Bill number 119, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
I move for perfection of bill number 119.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 119 is perfected.
Bill number 120, introduced by Councilmember O'Meara.
I'd like to take it up, move for perfection of bill number 120.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 120 is perfected.
Bill number 121, introduced by Councilmember O'Meara.
I'd like to take it up, move for perfection of bill number 121.
Second.
I move for all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 121 is perfected.
Bill number 122, introduced by Councilmember Dolan.
I move to perfect bill number 122.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Bill number 122 is perfected.
Bill number 123, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
I move for perfection of bill number 123. Okay, we're gonna hold on 123, and that will be the order. Final passage of bills,
Bill number 330, introduced by Councilmember Burkett.
hold, and that will be the order.
Bill number 106, introduced by Councilmember O'Meara.
Hold, please.
Bill number 106 is held, and that would be the order.
Bill number 114, introduced by Councilmember Dolan for Councilmember Erby.
I move for final passage of bill number 114.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby.
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger. Councilmember O'Meara.
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan.
Aye.
Councilmember Stanger.
Aye.
Councilmember Quinn.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on bill number 114, there are 5 ayes and 1 absent.
Bill number 114 is finally passed.
Bill number 115, introduced by Councilmember Dolan for Councilmember Erby.
I move for final passage of bill number 115.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby.
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger. Councilmember O'Meara.
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan.
Aye.
Councilmember Stanger.
Aye.
Councilmember Quinn.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on bill number 115, there are 5 ayes and 1 absent.
Bill number 115 is finally passed.
Bill number 116, introduced by Councilmember Quinn.
I'd like to take it up. I move final passage of bill number 116.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby.
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger. Councilmember O'Meara.
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan.
Aye.
Councilmember Stanger.
Aye.
Councilmember Quinn.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on bill number 116, there are 5 ayes and 1 absent.
Bill number 116 is finally passed.
Moving on to resolution, Madam Chair, we have 19 resolutions this evening.
You can do those.
Okay. Resolution number 1, introduced by Councilmember Dolan.
Read the first 2 paragraphs.
Yes, sir. Resolution, whereas a memorial wall and our nation's flag welcome visitors to the city of Shrewsbury and are maintained by Post 111 of the American Legion in Shrewsbury to remind all passerby of what our country stands for, and whereas the dedication of a new memorial wall along with a rededication of the newly illuminated flags will serve to enhance the sense of honor felt by persons experiencing the site well into the future.
I move for adoption of resolution number 1.
Second. Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember O'Meara?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Stanger?
Aye.
Councilmember Quinn.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on resolution number 1, there are 5 ayes and 1 absent.
Resolution number 1 is adopted.
Resolution number 2, introduced by Councilmember Erby, and I believe you wanted to read Resolutions number 2 through 17, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
Yes. I move for adoption of resolutions number 2 through 17.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember O'Meara?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Stanger?
Aye.
Councilmember Quinn.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on resolutions number 2 through 17, there are 5 ayes and 1 absent.
Resolutions number 2 through 17 are adopted.
Resolution number 18, introduced by Councilmember O'Meara.
Move for adoption of resolution number 18.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember O'Meara?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Stanger?
Aye.
Councilmember Quinn.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on resolution number 18, there are 5 ayes and 1 absent.
Resolution number 18 is adopted.
Resolution number 19, introduced by Councilmember Erby.
I move for adoption of resolution number 19.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Erby?
Aye.
Councilmember Wassinger? Councilmember O'Meara?
Aye.
Councilmember Dolan?
Aye.
Councilmember Stanger?
Aye.
Councilmember Quinn.
Aye.
Madam Chair, on resolution number 19, there are 5 ayes and 1 absent.
Resolution number 19 is adopted.
Madam Chair, moving on to unfinished business. Item number 1, 6th District.
Please hold.
So ordered.
Item number 2, 1st District.
Please hold on items number 2 and 3, and that will be the order.
Madam Chair, I think on number 2, did you want to order the?
Oh, did I?
Did that one.
What is it?
That's the last one we just did.
Oh, okay, I thought we were,
No.
were we supposed to do that one?
Yeah.
Jackie? Okay. Okay. So number 3,
So 2, do you want to receive and file and order legislation?
receive and file, and that will be the order.
And the county council will be directed to prepare the legislation as well, Madam Chair?
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 3.
Hold, and that will be the order.
And item number 4.
Hold, and that will be the order.
We have nothing under new business this evening, Madam Chair.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.